lelo enfula eyayishire tubutuka elo tatwala endekela. So natwingirirwa nensala abana ku skulu balefirwa okuya pantu ishikwishingi tulelala nensala echo balefirwa okuya ku maskulu. So tulina obulanda obukulu sana tulerira sana muno mwapita litesa
imuwo tauchungi kaboto izuba lirapya ibantu baba amarwa zimanji ikuchiswa.
For many people in the countries where SCIAF works, the impacts of climate change are already being felt. Increases in droughts and floods and heat waves and cyclones are already destroying lives and livelihoods. This is loss and damage. The worst part about this is that it's a great injustice. The people who are suffering first and worst from the climate crisis are often the people with the lowest carbon footprints in the world. They've done little or nothing to cause this crisis, and yet they're the ones already paying for its consequences. This is unjust, this is unfair, and we need to do something about it.
Valme vandivaji for from 2017 na sherefe notubana. Then vali nshirire ngombe fishambira okufumula ndu wachilale chine takuli fyani takuli amenshi. So ngombe shonse shayisa pokufu. Eshalenja fosha shini perform n'abana nomba pali no chitanchikote nefe akundi apo free fyonse. Then tuwalie shokutula kwa amenshi kukamana amenshi tarifuma. So kwenda distance itali kwa kuya mkusanga amenshi.
Takuli nchito bale bomba imbi bambi bale chitafobule takuli nchito imbi bale bomba. Chatulengesha infula takuli nga kuli infula nga tule kukola mumabala nomba abantu baleiba. So semu kuno wachankwesa mailo kuchakwa lelo baliba repo katika garden.
In Zambia, communities are being torn apart by these extreme weather events and changes to the climate. It's destroying the social fabric of communities too. Kids can't go to school, husbands and wives are separated in temporary accommodation. Young girls are often being married off early by their families because their own parents are not able to make sure they've got enough food on the table for them. People are not able to bury their dead because graveyards have been flooded and destroyed. Loss and damage and the impacts of climate change is really tearing the heart out of communities, and it's deeply unjust.
Njikala panopeni pafamu, epetwali no mukashwandi tarafwa. Nomboro tarafu mukashwandi, infula yari shino mwero ukaramba sana, kuisa fimbule ngandei, tuashara pepambili. Utusitumara tuashere ponombo tuashere po tumbitona ike, tularamba fimbile one side in a filmutifia, ifile moneka.
Thanks to the people of Scotland, SCIAF has been able to help. With funding from the Scottish Government's Humanitarian Emergency Fund, SCIAF, working with our local Caritas partners in Zambia, have been able to get help to the people who've been most affected by this loss and damage in recent months. This help has taken many forms. We've supported the reconstruction of damaged infrastructure like bridges, roads, a health centre and a school. We've also got unconditional cash transfers, money, into the hands of the families who've been most affected, enabling them to spend that money as they like in the way that they see fit and the way that they think will best help them recover from this crisis with dignity. We've put in place mechanisms to make sure that when the next crisis comes, when the next storm hits, that communities are more resilient and able to resist. We've trained female leaders in the community to respond quickly to disasters when we know that they're coming.
We have provided drought-resistant seeds for farmers to grow. We have provided drip irrigation. We have also provided boreholes in certain communities that do not have water. So we are calling upon the government also to support such interventions. We have trained farmers in organic farming. Some of the crops that we give them for organic is drought resistant, but also organic farming helps to retain moisture in the field for a long time, and also fertility. So some farmers are practicing organic farming, and actually in the fields that they have organic crops, they are doing better than the fields that have inorganic crops.
A global fund for loss and damage was established at the end of 2023 at COP28 in Dubai. Almost $700 million was pledged to that fund back then, and yet not a penny of that money has been spent. We're calling for three things from world leaders on loss and damage. Firstly, to make sure the Loss and Damage Fund gets operational as quickly as possible and that money starts to flow to the people who need it most. Secondly, we're calling for the Loss and Damage Fund to address the food system which is broken internationally and make sure that when agricultural land damaged by climate change is rebuilt, it's built back better in a way that ensures everyone has access to their right to food. And thirdly, we're calling for honesty. We're calling for world leaders to be honest about the scale of the crisis we are facing, to set a financial target for the Loss and Damage Fund which will truly meet the scale of the need, and to put in place a plan to get up to that level of funding as quickly as possible. It's vital that we make sure that everyone who's enduring this loss and damage so unjustly around the world is able to access support when they need it most.